Our personal identity is the most important financial asset we have. We use our identity to qualify for credit, to buy our homes, cars, borrow money, and make purchases. Our ability to obtain credit depends on the good financial reputation that we've worked all our lives to build and maintain. Losing control over our personal information and identity can happen in an instant and without even our knowledge. You may not find out until after the damage has been done and you're contacted by creditors seeking to collect money from you for things you never purchased. After you find out, it can be an expensive and frustrating experience to repair the damage done to your credit and financial reputation. The good news is that we are not powerless, and there are steps we can take to prevent problems. When it comes to identity theft, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's far better to prevent identity theft from occurring in the first place than it is to deal with it after the fact, when personal information has been compromised, money has been lost, and your good credit and financial reputation need to be repaired. This video will help you learn how to safeguard your personal information and protect yourself from identity theft. We'll also explain what to do if you do become the victim of identity theft, how you dispute fraudulent debts, and repair your credit record. Working together, we can prevent identity theft and help build a safer community.
How does identity theft happen?
Generally, identity theft occurs when personal information belonging to someone else is taken and used in a fraudulent manner. Although Indiana has a specific identity theft law, there are other criminal laws such as theft, forgery, or fraud that may also apply. Identity theft is always changing and evolving. It can happen over the telephone, through the mail, or electronically on the computer, and even across state or international borders. Identity theft can be as simple as stealing someone's mail or checks to complex schemes that victimize lots of people. There are many ways you can become the victim of identity theft. Here are a few of the most common. Your wallet is lost or stolen. If your wallet is lost or stolen, someone else may obtain your driver's license, credit cards, social security number, or other personal identification and use them for fraudulent purposes. Your mail is stolen. We all receive credit card offers in the mail and bills with our account numbers and other personal information. By stealing your mail, a thief can get access to your sensitive personal information and use it to commit identity theft. Your mail could even be diverted using a change of address form, so that it goes somewhere else without your knowledge. Your trash is stolen. When you throw away bank statements, credit card bills, insurance statements, or other documents that contain personal information, they could be stolen. Stealing personal information could be as simple as going through your trash. Email and internet solicitations. We've all gotten emails attempting to solicit personal information. Some use a pretext, such as the chance to win prizes. Sometimes it even looks like an official notice from your bank or credit card company about a security breach that requests you to re-enter your personal information and change your password in order to protect your privacy. It looks legitimate, but it's not. It's a fraudulent attempt to get you to provide your personal information. An acquaintance or relative who has access to your home decides to use your personal information without your permission to take money or go on a spending spree. An employee of a business. You provide personal information to a business and then an employee of that company steals your data. These are some of the common scams identity thieves use. Once your personal information is obtained, it can then be used to fraudulently purchase things, apply for credit cards, loans, or financing, or to transfer money directly from your accounts. We'll help you learn what to do to prevent identity theft and what to do if it happens to you.
How do I prevent identity theft?
When it comes to identity theft, prevention is the best strategy. A thief can't steal your identity if your personal and financial information is protected. There are several things you can do to minimize your risk. Always keep your wallet or purse in a safe place, including while you're at work. If your wallet or purse is lost or stolen, then you are at risk of becoming a victim of identity theft. It is best to take steps in advance just in case that happens. First of all, don't carry all of your credit cards in your wallet. Just carry the ones you actually use. Make a copy of the personal information and credit cards that you do carry in your wallet and put it in a safe place, such as a locked filing cabinet in your home. That way, if you do lose your wallet, you'll know exactly what's missing and can take immediate steps to protect yourself, such as calling your credit card company and freezing your accounts so that no one else can use those cards. If your driver's license is stolen, or you think someone may have obtained a license using your information, you should file a written complaint with the Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles, requesting a new driver's license number. You can do that at your local BMV license branch. Do not carry your Social Security card around in your wallet. It is very rare that you would ever need to use your Social Security card, so it is better left at home in a safe place. Do not write down your PIN number for your debit or credit cards or anything you carry with you in your wallet. That would just make it easier for someone to withdraw money from your account or get a cash advance. Use strong and unique passwords. When using security passwords or PIN numbers for your credit card, bank, or phone accounts, it's best to avoid using typical information like your mother's maiden name, your pet's name, your birth date, your phone number, or the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. Instead, use something that would be more difficult to guess. A strong password includes a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols in both upper and lower case. Use different passwords for different accounts. Mail. Outgoing bill payments for things like credit cards contain your account number and may contain other personal information. When you mail your bills, don't just leave them in your street mailbox for pickup where they could be easily accessed by strangers. It's safer to mail them at the post office or put them in a postal drop box. Also, remove your mail promptly once it's been delivered. If you're planning to be away from home and can't pick up your mail, call the U.S. Postal Service at 1-800-275-8777 to request a vacation hold. The Postal Service will hold your mail at your local post office until you can pick it up or are at home to receive it. The longer the mail is left accessible to anyone, the more the opportunity for a theft. And unfortunately, it's often difficult to tell what's missing. It's also a good idea to pay attention to billing cycles, especially for credit cards. Follow up with creditors if your bills don't arrive on time. It's not uncommon to receive unsolicited credit card offers in the mail. If you want to stop receiving these offers, you can call 1-888-5-OPT-OUT, or you can do it online at www.optoutprescreen.com. This will stop most of the offers for 5 years, or you can request the opt-out permanently. Secure your personal information in the home. Many identity thefts actually occur in the home from acquaintances or even people who were invited in to do work. Leaving personal information out in the open in plain view is a temptation for some people. Things like insurance statements, bank account records, passports, and credit card statements shouldn't be left out on the table where they can be easily seen by others who come in to the home. Make sure to secure all of your sensitive personal information in a safe place, such as a locked filing cabinet. Shred sensitive personal information. When you throw out or recycle documents that contain personal information, such as charge receipts, copies of credit card applications, insurance forms, health care bills, checks and bank statements, expired charge accounts, and credit card offers, you make that information easily available to strangers who might look through your trash. A good way to protect yourself is to invest in a paper shredder. That way, you destroy your personal information before someone can steal it. Shredding your personal documents is the safest thing to do. Social Security number privacy. Your Social Security number is a sensitive piece of personal information. There are a few legitimate purposes where your Social Security number must be given. For example, to healthcare providers, financial institutions, insurance companies, and employers. But whenever you are asked to provide your Social Security number or other sensitive personal information, ask how it will be used, whether it will be shared with others, and how your privacy will be protected. You should make sure that it is really needed for a legitimate and necessary reason. Often, another number can be used instead of your Social Security number for the purposes of simple record keeping. Monitor your credit report. Finally, it is a good idea to obtain a copy of your credit report at least once a year and review it to make sure it is correct and doesn't contain any unauthorized requests for credit or inaccurate information.
How do I get my credit report?
An important part of protecting yourself from identity theft is to obtain copies of your credit report and monitor the information that appears in it. That way, if the report contains inaccurate information, or if there are financial transactions that have been done by someone else in your name, you can take steps to correct the situation. Getting your credit report isn't hard, but it does take some effort on your part. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, each of the major nationwide consumer reporting companies must provide you with a free copy of your credit report at your request, once every 12 months. You can request your free annual credit reports through the Annual Credit Report Request Service at www.annualcreditreport.com or call toll-free at 1-877-322-8228. Or you can complete the Annual Credit Report Request Form and mail it to Annual Credit Report Request Service, P.O. Box 105281, Atlanta, Georgia, 30348 5281. You can print out the request form from the Federal Trade Commission's website at www.ftc.gov/credit. There are 3 major nationwide consumer credit reporting bureaus. They provide free annual credit reports only through www.annualcreditreport.com. For routine monitoring of your credit report, use the Annual Credit Report Request Service. You also have the right to a free report if a company takes an adverse action against you, such as increasing your interest rate based on your negative credit report or denying your application for credit, insurance, or employment. You must request the report within 60 days of receiving notice of the action. If an adverse action is taken based on your credit report, you should receive a notice that will give you the name, address, and phone number of the consumer reporting company that supplied the information about you. Here is the contact information for each of the major credit reporting bureaus in case you want to contact them directly to buy a copy of your credit report or to respond to an action that adversely affects your credit and entitles you to a free report. You can reach Equifax at 1-800-525-6285 and www.equifax.com. You can reach Experian at 1-888-397-3742 and www.experian.com. And you can reach TransUnion at 1-800-680-7289 and www.transunion.com.
How do I protect my privacy on the telephone and the computer?
When it comes to telephone and computer solicitations, be especially careful. Telephone and computer attempts to fish for personal information are common. Some seem like promotional offers that promise special deals or prizes in exchange for registering and filling out forms with personal information. Others pretend to be official communications from banks, internet service providers, and even government agencies in an attempt to get people to reveal personal information. Do not give out personal information over the phone or over the internet unless you are the one who initiated the contact and you know who you're dealing with. Make sure your computer has updated virus protection software and that you install updates and patches for your computer's operating system and other programs to protect against intrusions and infections that can compromise your files or passwords. Ideally, you should set up your software to check it for updates and download them automatically. Be careful about who has access to your computer. Computers left on and unattended in public areas or at work can be accessed by strangers. Do not open files sent to you by strangers. Click on hyperlinks or download programs from people or companies that you don't know. Be especially cautious about using file sharing programs or downloads. Opening a file could expose your system to a computer virus or program known as spyware, which could capture your passwords or any other information as you type it into your keyboard. If you leave your computer hooked up to the internet 24 hours a day, use a firewall program to stop uninvited access to your computer. Before you dispose of a computer, remove all the personal information it's stored. Simply deleting files is not enough. Use a wipe utility program to overwrite the entire hard drive.
What should I do if I become the victim of identity theft?
If you do become the victim of identity theft, it's important to know how to respond effectively, dispute fraudulent charges, and repair your credit. Here are the steps that you should take. Number 1, contact the credit card company or bank. 3/4 of all reported identity theft involves credit and debit card fraud. The first step is to call the credit card company or the bank to report the problem. If you get a call from your credit card company fraud department, call them back immediately. Often, these situations can be resolved easily and quickly over the phone. Federal law also insures individuals against credit and debit card fraud, so your losses should be limited.
Number 2, contact the consumer credit bureaus. For more serious cases, you may have to contact the fraud department at any one of the 3 major consumer credit bureaus. Ask the credit bureau to take a report and place an initial fraud alert on your credit report. An initial fraud alert is appropriate if your wallet has been stolen or if you've been taken in by a computer phishing scam and disclose personal information over the internet or telephone. An initial fraud alert can help stop someone from opening new accounts in your name. With a fraud alert, you can request that any creditors call you before opening any new accounts or changing your existing accounts. To place an initial fraud alert, you only have to contact one of the 3 major credit reporting companies, Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion, at the toll-free numbers we provided earlier. The company you call is then required to contact the other 2, which will place an initial fraud alert on their versions of your credit report. Placing an initial fraud alert is free, and you can request that it be lifted at any time. Once you place the initial fraud alert in your file, you are then entitled to order a free copy of your credit report from each one of the 3 major consumer credit bureaus. When you receive your 3 credit reports, review them carefully. Look for inquiries from companies you haven't contacted, accounts that you didn't open, and debts on your account that you can't explain. Check that information like your Social Security number, address, name or initials, and employers are correct. If you find fraudulent or inaccurate information, contact the credit bureau again to get it removed. An initial fraud alert stays on your credit report for 90 days. You can have an extended fraud alert placed on your credit report if you've actually been the victim of identity theft and you provide the credit bureau with an identity theft report. When you place an extended alert on your credit report, you're entitled to 2 free credit reports within 12 months from each of the 3 major consumer credit bureaus. Continue to check your credit reports periodically, especially for the first year after you discover an identity theft. to make sure no new fraudulent activity has occurred. When a business sees a fraud alert on your credit report, it must verify your identity before issuing you credit. As part of this verification process, the business may try to contact you directly. This may cause some delays if you are the one trying to obtain credit. To reduce delay, include in your alert a phone number where you can be reached easily.
Number 3, dispute fraudulent debts. If you discover that any of your accounts have been tampered with, accounts have been opened fraudulently, or you have become subject to collection actions by a creditor for charges you did not incur, promptly contact the Security or Fraud Department of the bank, credit card company, or creditor to dispute the charge. It may be necessary to close that account and open a new one. Put new passwords or PIN numbers, personal identification numbers, on any new accounts you open. In order to remove unauthorized charges, you may need to provide documentation such as a sworn statement. Many companies accept the identity theft affidavit available from the Federal Trade Commission's website. Other companies have their own special forms. Contact the company at the address given for billing inquiries, not the address for sending your payments. You may also be required to file a report with local or state law enforcement. Even if law enforcement is unable to find the perpetrator of an identity theft, they should let you file a police report and obtain a copy of that report so that you have the documentation required by many creditors and the consumer credit reporting bureaus as proof to dispute a fraudulent debt.
Put it in writing. One of the hardest parts of dealing with creditors and credit reporting bureaus is documenting your communications. Often with credit and debit card fraud, a phone call is enough. But for more complicated frauds, such as when you discover someone has opened a new account in your name or hijacked an existing account, you need to document your communications in writing. Telephone conversations may be forgotten, leaving you without any record to prove you took steps to correct the problem. You need a paper trail. Therefore, it is important that you follow up on any telephone conversations with a written letter. When you do talk on the phone, make notes about the date of the conversation, who you talked to, and what was said. Then write a letter. Refer to your phone conversation, include the date, and restate what you discussed to put them on notice in writing. Send copies of any supporting documentation and keep the originals for yourself. Don't just send the letter by regular mail. Make sure you send the letter by certified mail to prove it was received and when. This makes a big difference. Make a file and keep copies of all letters and documentation for your own records. Once you have resolved your identity theft dispute, ask for a letter stating that the company has closed the disputed accounts and has discharged the fraudulent debts. This letter is your best proof if errors relating to this account reappear on your credit report or you are contacted again about the fraudulent debt.
Are there resources available to help me if I have a problem with identity theft?
If you become the victim of identity theft, there are places you can go to get help. You can contact the Indiana Attorney General's Identity Theft Unit. This unit assists victims and provides investigation services to help in the prosecution of identity thieves. The Indiana Attorney General provides an identity theft victim kit to guide you through the process. You can download the kit from their website at www.indianaconsumer.com/idtheft. You can also call the Attorney General's Identity Theft Unit at 1-800-382-5516. You can also file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. By sharing your identity theft complaint with the FTC, you will provide important information to help law enforcement officials track down and stop identity thieves. The Federal Trade Commission can refer victims' complaints to other government agencies and companies for further action, as well as investigate companies for violations of the federal consumer protection laws the agency enforces. The FTC maintains a confidential national identity theft database and may be able to assist in pursuing identity thieves through federal channels. For help from the FTC, contact their identity theft hotline, 1-877-ID-THEFT, or visit them online at www.ftc.gov/IDtheft. The Federal Trade Commission also publishes a guide that describes what to do if you become the victim of identity theft. It explains your legal rights, how to handle specific problems you may encounter as you try to clear your name, and what to watch out for in the future. The guide also includes the Identity Theft Affidavit, a form that can help you report information to companies to dispute fraudulent transactions. The publication is called Take Charge: Fighting Back Against Identity Theft, and is available at the Federal Trade Commission's website, www.ftc.gov. Indiana Legal Services offers free legal help to low-income people and people aged 60 and older. You can contact Indiana Legal Services at 812-339-7668 or toll-free at 800-822-4774.
Becoming the victim of identity theft can be a frustrating experience. By making this video, we hope to give you the tools that you need to help you prevent the damage to your financial reputation and the good credit that you've worked so hard to build and maintain. If it does happen, you should know what to do about it and where to turn for help. You're not alone. Protecting ourselves from identity theft and responding to it when it does occur requires that we all work together. By doing so, we can prevent identity theft and build a safer community. Thank you for taking the time to learn about identity theft.